Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and those of non-binary genders. We're off to the races in this Link to the Past Randomizer Season 2 Announcement Exhibition Race. Today, I'm bunging to the tree, and today I'm joined by Sir Link-A-Lot. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I have been waiting for this race since we announced it, so we're going to get started right away.
Before I could even get an intro, we're off to the races, and already we're going through here. So what are we playing today, Sir Link?
So this is something kind of unique to the league. This is actually going to be one of our modes featured in the regular season. We are doing a spoiler race. However, Walther and Dante do not have the spoiler logs. They have a pilot guiding them in the background that will know where every item drops and everything like that, but they just got the spoiler log about 45 seconds ago. So they're, quickly trying to route the seed themselves while, giving Walther and Dante up-to-date instructions on what to be doing as quickly as possible.
Ah, yes, it's going to be quite interesting. Kind of a lighter spin on a mode that was kind of dreamed up around SGDQ of keep talking and nobody likes last locations, just going through together, working as a team, one playing, one with the spoiler log, and they have to get through this as fast as they can. No time to prep. It's just quickly, let's get there fast. And already we see a Houlihan set up by Walther and Dante going up and farming some magic here in the Uncle Hole. So the reason we are here today is to bring about news of what is going to be Season 2 of the Link to the Past Randomizer League. For those of you who just came off of Speed Gaming 2 after watching that exciting first of the qualifier tournament races, that this is something that's going to be happening a little bit after. I am happy that we will get to see this Randomizer League kick off. Oops, once I learn how to type. It seems like it died. Anyway.
There's some dates for you all. We'll go into a little bit more details once the actual race is finished. We see Hammer and Chicken Hut. As far as this, because of wondering, there has not actually been any kind of map check. How do we know what the crystals and pendants are? I did give the spoiler log to our tracker since there will be no map check, so we know what crystals and dungeons that are required for this seed.
All right, and taking a look at those crystal and pendant requirements, I'm seeing here we've got Misery Mire, Skull Woods, and Desert Palace in there for your pendants, and the 5-6 being Turtle Rock, and I'm trying to see the other one, Thieves Town.
Yes, indeed.
So it looks like a full bevy of items will be required to figure out this seed. We're going to be making it through here, and there we have a Moon Pearl in the escape sequence. We're already we're making our way towards Dark World access, as well as pick up an ice rod along the way along the escape.
Yeah, and apparently there has to be something in the depths in Zelda's chest, because Dante's going that way. He's just checking and hasn't gotten that knowledge yet.
Or perhaps they're looking for something that'll send them to where they need to go. For those of you wondering, this is being played on the Open 7-7 mode. And that is a thing I have not seen before. Did he just beat a guard with another guard?
Sure did. Oh, we got a flute as well.
I did not know you could do that.
That's the true only way to actually kill the ball and chain guard when you have ice rod. If you do it any other way, you're doing something wrong.
That's something I'm gonna have to do in the future if it ever get the case. Anyway, making our way, it looks like old Walther, the representative of Old Swagga Jackson, is heading off into the escape sequence to pick up that nice bevy of items that were inside. Dante is heading over towards the Kakariko village, see how much safety they decide to pick up here, as well as what items may be hiding over here that are to find our way into the end of the seed.
Yeah, I did see. I'm guessing it might be needed, or it was a big key and they grabbed it just to be safe. Maybe not knowledge yet. There was a Skullwoods big key in the well.
I should also that this is being played key sanity as well. So there will be keys for us to find along the way, as well as other one. There's a small key to Misery Mire. I don't think we're really going our way away from that. That just makes routing easy. Some muscle memory taking over for Dante as they open the hole, though not actually needing to go inside. Alright, so Dante, go ahead and talking to the bottle vendor. We've got the big key to Turtle Rock. That's 2 big keys that we've already found. One of them may not, perhaps not as useful as the other. Meanwhile, we have us a swag duck that's off to the races. A really nice use of bomb strats by Walter there on the left side of your screen.
Walther skipping that chest though. I'm pretty sure that was the Moon Pearl, was it not?
I'm pretty sure that chest was the Moon Pearl. Perhaps they're planning on coming back out?
I hope so, or that might not be good.
I think they just realized the error of their ways, and they're heading back for that Moon Pearl.
Yes, okay.
That's a good thing to find. As we get the hammer pick up by Dante there. Interesting that Walter is opting for those bomb strats while he is holding the hammer.
There, okay, there Walther comes back, gets that Moon Pearl.
We have taken flight on Dante's side, and looks like we are going to make that long walk to a cold cave. Ice Rod Cave looks to have something of value. Looks like they also looks like they may have picked up blue mail along the way as well.
No, there's still no pugs. That's still green mail.
Then why did the if he had 3 hearts, he took 2 hits from the crab, he'd be dead.
No, that was the Octorok.
Okay, I thought the crab hit him. I'm like, wait, what? And there we have our first glove.
Hey, Dark World access at 6.5 minutes.
Oh, the dream. If only, if you're watching that qualify race, you would have dreamed about having that early.
Question in chat about the modes. Just hold on. Once we get finished with the race, we're going to enjoy the race right now. We'll go into more info about Season 2, as much as we want to share regarding that. Once the race is over, we'll bring Walther, Dante in. We'll have some interviews. We'll have some fun. Then we'll go into some hot info on Season 2.
Definitely hunt into the first thing that we will definitely drop as we're looking in towards February for the registration for the upcoming season.
Dante's actually going to immediately be going to the Dark World at this point.
Alright, so we have ourselves a swag duck on the loose. Meanwhile, Dante is heading into the Dark World, and it looks like we're heading over to the cave formerly known as Hype.
Considering we're going here. I was going to say, considering we're going there and we know the spoilers, I'm guessing something's going to be in here.
But the question is, where is it? It's probably not that single rupee he picked up. A little bit of health. Some flippers, definitely need those. A few more bombs for your thing, and 20 bucks. It is always interesting to see how players decide to route in safeties and money into the seed. Because we are definitely going to need the $110 to be extorted from that cursed monkey to get into the Palace of Darkness. Not sure if we are going to need Zora or not.
Yeah, that's something we'll see. And it is possible Dante just routed Hype Cave on his own. It could very well be that your pilot isn't looking exactly where you're going there, trying to route your keys ahead of time to figure out, the best path for you to take, rather than, okay, I want to go here, what's here, then there's nothing there, and then you're just kind of sitting there looking at it.
Yeah, just go ahead and try to figure out what it is we have to do here. Looks like Team Swagga Jackson is trying to figure out where they're going to head to next. Looks like they're heading to 5, and Dante making their way into the Eastern Palace, while Walther is definitely looks to be doing the same, but decides to swerve me. And they first want to go into the dam and pick up the item that was here. And that was that big key to Desert Palace. What is that sprite that Walter is using?
Walther is using Grunkle Stan from Gravity Falls.
I'm not familiar. That's not a surprise. Alright, meanwhile, Dante making the way over towards that, the map chest?
Oh, yeah. Well, you're going to want, though. I was wondering, it's just like Eastern Palace, you don't have the big key or a bow yet. What are you actually going there for? And
the answer is boots.
Boots.
Fastness. This is a race after all. We want to go a little bit faster. Continuing on, meanwhile, Dante is flying around back into Kakariko Village. Are we heading towards the Dark World here?
We sure are. It's like,
However,
except he forgot he doesn't have Titan's mitts.
Just because your name is your team name is the Titans Mitts doesn't mean you get them by default. In which case, I would probably name my team the Bow.
Yeah, that would probably be a good. I would probably just name my team Boots at that point.
Boots only do so much on their own, just make you go fast. Right, speaking of Boots, there's the ones for Walther, as Dante's heading into the Dark World via the Village of Outcast portal. And we're going to head to from here. Looks like we're heading towards Skullwood. Still have yet to pick up any of our 4 swords at this point.
Now, Skullwood is green pendant. We did get the big key very early, so it's possible that there was a reason for that, and we're going to be checking that chest here.
It looks like we're going to head and route our way towards the back of Skullwoods. Interesting to see what's back here that'll make us beeline for the rear entrance. As Walther also forgets that he needs Titan's mitts to get through that one. Dante's just going to go ahead and hammer these Gyptos out of his way, because Gyptos are the worst.
They sure are. Darn Gyptos.
And that prize pack full magic canter feels pretty good for Dante. Had no magic up to the point, and we'll save them the trouble of having to go pick up the full magic decanter in the next room. If they were going to want it. And there we have a mirror in the back of Skullwoods. So there we go. We've already routed 2 items that make us go a little bit faster.
Yeah, the early Dark World access, since we've got the spoiler log getting the mirror, routing is going to be extremely nice at this point.
And Dante going ahead and picking up a small key. Perhaps we are seeing a little bit of the advanced item placement coming into play here. Perhaps our second item is hidden in that room here in Skullwoods. That's normally that used to have a key in it guaranteed.
Well, it is Key Sanity, so all the chests have items at this point.
True, but at least now that is with version 41 not guaranteed to have a small key anymore. And there's the Thieves Town big key there.
That is
in the
definitely
pot prison.
Yep, definitely something we needed. So it looks like, I'm guessing, since they left Skullwoods without checking that big chest, it was just because of the fact that, hey, there's a big key here, I haven't checked the chest yet, just grab it while you're here.
Yeah, let's just pick it up online. It's already on. It says they did not have to go out of their way to pick it up. It's probably a good thing to do. Alright, now we are making our way across the top of Dark World. What are we going to find here? Or perhaps we're just making our way over to Pod. No, it looks like we're going to go ahead and get something out of either Graveyard, or looks like it's going to be out of King's Tomb. With those early boots, there's definitely a good chance of an item being in here. But what will it be? Meanwhile, we've picked up a small key for the Tower of Hera on the left side of your screen, and that's the Titan's mitts blocked in the King's Tomb. Mirror 100% required to obtain those mitts this time.
Yeah, and considering we got that small key to Hera, I'm guessing something's in the basement as well. That kind of feels bad.
Alright, and with that, we're speaking of the Tower of Hera, Dante's making their way up in that direction on top of Death Mountain. It looks like Walther's going to go ahead and head on over and pick up those Titan's mitts now as well. So, as we make our way up to the Tower of Hera, how excited are you, Sir Link, for the upcoming League season this February?
I am extremely excited. Season 1 was an amazing amount of fun. And it was nice and relaxed where you didn't have to race, 8-10 weeks in a row yourself. You could just kind of take some weeks off.
Yeah, definitely one of the key draws I found talking to many of the racers was just a more, still able to go race, but a more relaxed atmosphere while you're at it. Dante making their way over to the right side of Death Mountain, ignoring Tower of Hera for now, just waiting for him to pick up that small key.
No, Dante did not get the small key. That was Walther that picked up the small key. So,
Dante's having a heck of a time trying to get past these darn, what you call those?
Man, that fairy is just kind of taunting.
Not, like, nah. I'll just stay over here, thanks. Here we are in the Paradox Cave. The kid behind get clipped by a mini Moldorm. Walther is having even less fun with the dead rocks.
Those dead rocks are nobody's friends. I don't even think they're friends to themselves.
Dead rock's gonna dead rock, and there is the pod big key and some arrows on the right side of your screen. While they're making up their way towards Tower of Hair, perhaps we're gonna see what's in that basement. Though actually we can't, because we can't light any fires yet. Something to keep in mind as we have to bomb a mini Moldarm and picking up the swag net. And the big key to Ice Palace. There's our fire rod, there's our fire source. And some more money. And
Dante
that's
gonna
all
leave though.
mountain.
What is Walther doing?
Debating where they want to go. It looks like. I was just maybe hoping for some more health.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they've just been skipping hard containers. That's kind of the one thing I guess I could look at the spoiler log to kind of peek, but then I can't really pay attention to what's actually going on.
Alright, here we are heading towards the back of Desert Palace. We're heading toward Desert Palace and Desert Ledge here. There's a mushroom pickup by Dante. I wonder if that's going to yield us anything.
I
imagine we're going to go our way.
I mean, it's not quick to pick it up, so if you're looking at the spoiler log, be like, hey, Desert Ledge is a mushroom, grab it. I'll go check, I'll check the spoiler log for Witch's Hut, especially when you have food. It's not like it takes that long to get there.
Yeah, you're already here for other items that would appear. We get a small key on the torch. This one's for Turtle Rock. Need a couple of those just to get through the dungeon. Now, we already have the Desert Big Key, so we're going to go ahead and pick that and see what's in that Desert Big chest. And that's going to be a key to Samaria. What do you know about that? With that cane plus mushroom, we've got ourselves a setup for fake powder. Perhaps a magic bat is holding something.
It's very possible. I'm sure we're going to see it if they've not already checked to see if it's anything required. There's a heart container.
Finally, our first bit of safety routed in by the Titansmiths here. Walther's picked up their fire rod and whatever else is heading in there, and they're going to see what they're going to head to next. Meanwhile, Dante's going to just go ahead and head towards Landmolus. The desert is a pendant. So there must be something either on Landmolus, or dare I say, could it be on the pedestal?
I almost want to check.
The real question is, what could be sitting on the pedestal right now? The key thing I see screaming out to me would be the hook shot. Because we already have boots to get through Misery Mire. Meanwhile, both of our runners in desert, while Walther's in the front, going ahead and picking up what Dante's already grabbed. Dante's heading towards the Landmolus. I believe Sir Link has access to the spoiler log. He didn't share it with me. That's okay.
I did, because I wasn't looking at it, because I want to be surprised instead, but I was like, I want to go find out what's in the back of Desert. Because it is the Pendant of Power. And this is going to be...
Or is it the Pendant of Wisdom? I think it's wrong in this game. Or is it wrong in future games?
I don't know.
Translations are a thing.
Spoiler log says Pendant of Power, but we get a hook shot.
That's a hook shot. Alright, so take that off the pedestal. Yep, in this game, the power is blue and wisdom is red. In the future, the reverse is true. Alright, and with that, Dante is going to go ahead and pull out their food and head off to their next destination. And Walter's making their way back to pick up their hook shot from the back. It looks like we're heading back towards the village of the Kakariko village. Dante go ahead and heading down towards the library, and then changing their mind. Where are we heading? Where are we off to, Dante? It looks like the Dark World is the answer.
mean, I would say swamp, but
There's nothing stopping us from going into Swamp Palace.
yeah, but I would imagine you wouldn't be entering from here if you were going directly to swamp. So,
Unless
plus I
there's
think we're actually still
something
missing
along
the small key
way.
to swamp as well.
Oh yes, the Swamp Palace small key. Who could forget that this is key sanity?
All right, so that Hera basement must be something because both runners went and got it.
Yeah, so there's the Hera basement pickup. But interesting that they didn't. Interesting to not route it in sooner when the fire rod's right there on the mountain. That's what has me thinking. And looks like we've got ourselves a Smith pickup, you know, if he decides to come with us. Again, I kind of like it here. I don't want to go home. My roommate's a jerk. Always swinging that hammer. Alright, making our way back into the Smith's chain, we'll see what kind of dwarven craftsman we have today. And there we have some keysmiths, and that is the big key to Eastern Palace. Definitely going to need it, but one of the two progressive bows are still at large at this point. It looks like with that, Dante's off to 8. Meanwhile, Walter's heading back up, and it looks like they're going back towards Skull Woods. Perhaps just going to go ahead and knock out Mothula now.
So, are we going to see Ice Palace?
No, they're heading back. I think we're finally going to get the payoff of that Tower of Hera small key.
Well, I know there's something important in Hera. We are going to need it. It's on the boss, though. So I'm going to make you all wait for that one. As far as the basement cage, there is something there. It's another key. So I'm gonna guess it's in a better place than what the rest of the keys are for this dungeon.
Alright, we're heading back up the mountain there for Dante. Walter having picked up that Thieves' Town big key, which we're gonna need to pick up one of the 5 or 6 crystals. And here we finally get the payoff of what is in the Tower of Hera. Interestingly enough, neither runner has been able to get access to a sword as of yet, leaving us with the only thing to fight the Moldorm with being a hammer, and that's a TR small key. Menu boss is the hardest boss in this game.
So there's a reason. So there's a reason why they have not found swords. The swords are not in friendly places.
And apparently Tower of Hera is not a friendly place, as then Mini Moldorm decided it wanted a piece of Dante's pug. Meanwhile, Walter heading in through Thieves' Town. Go ahead and check the second chest here. That time making sure it stays out of his way, as there's a Quake medallion for Walter.
According to our tracker, though, Quake is not needed. We're gonna have some Hera pot from Dante.
It appears we are having a little bit of a Hera pot action. So why pick up the small key? Yeah, well executed. And have you found have you taught yourselves in the ways of the Hera pot?
I have not yet.
I don't foresee myself doing it, as I'll never be this good. I'm just here to talk about it. Alright, and here we go with the fight with Moldorm. 1 strike at the hammer. 2 strikes at the hammer. And that's 3. The Lime Mullis had the hook shot, for those asking in the chat. And we get the payoff of our first of the progressive bows on Moldorm.
See, I'm really curious, because I went and looked where both bows were, and Silver's, I'm not going to say where so I don't spoil it for anybody in chat, but Silver's are definitely on the way that they will walk right by the chest.
Perhaps they are on the way of the hero?
Yes, they would be on the way of the hero, definitely.
Alright, making our way through Thieves' Town is Walter, as Dante is making their way towards the, that cave there, whose name has eluded me at this moment. And there's another one of our big keys. And that there is the big key to Misery Mire, which we potentially don't need. I guess it just depends on if there's... Ooh, as that cricket took down that monkey, but he picked up a fairy along the way.
Yep, there was a fairy in a bottle in Thieves Town, so nice to have it there, because yeah, these crickets do not play nice.
No, 2 hearts of damage base, and since we're still on green mail, and we've picked up a collective of about 1 1/4 hearts, or 1.5 hearts between our 2 runners at this point, I think. I think I've seen each runner pick up a single heart piece. And Dante having picked up that container. Back into Eastern Palace we go. Now that we have the bow, we can go ahead and take care of the boss.
There's another reason for coming in here.
I'm sure there is, you dirty spoiler, you.
I didn't say what was here. That's just something. You don't know what chest now. You're going to have to wait and find out.
Well, there's a bottle with green goo for Walther there. I'm not sure if the sudden prize was included in the spoiler. It must not have been that helpful. Go ahead and a nice quick clear of the stealth filter room here for Dante as we make our way through. There's a Skullwood small key, which Dante will potentially need to get to the boss. I forget how he managed his keys while we're in there. I think he needs to pick up 1 more to get back to the boss. And here we have a 3-heart hammer blind.
Also on Dante's side, we got our first sword.
Is that our first sword in the Eastern Palace big chest?
It sure was.
Eastern Palace big key. And there we go. Go ahead and just decide to, as Walther opts in for use of the Cane of Samaria. There's 2 heads down for blind. Actually, think it's really fast dodging the feet. 1 hit. 2 hits. Oh, the block gets imploded, and there's 3. Down goes blind for Walther. A well-executed fight with the King of Samaria as to pick up the map of Eastern Palace, and more importantly, one of the 5-6 crystals that we need to complete this game. It's definitely a tough little bit of fight there, as one of the Igors just decided not to cooperate with Dante, and here we are into the Armos Knight fight.
Yep, I was going to say that was our first crystal of the game, but I forgot Dante did have Hera completed as well.
So it's the first crystal for Old Swagger Jackson, the second crystal overall, as Dante just kind of loses control of the Armos Knight fight there for the quick kill, but picks up crystal number 2 for Team Titans Mets. Alright, and with that, we have 3 dungeons cleared on the right and 2 dungeons cleared on the left. I'm going to go ahead and get that Smith turned in for Walther, as Dante's going to go ahead and pull out their flute and head off to their next destination. And we're heading back towards the village. And the Dark World seems to be on our mind.
Sure does. Maybe thinking, I don't know if anything's actually on Green Minute, maybe Skull Woods.
We still have the back half that we have not seen any items from, but looks like we're not going there quite now. And here we finally get to, I think we're finally seeing our mushroom turn in there on the side of Walther.
Except Walther, I don't believe actually picked that up yet.
Looks like Walther's going to go ahead and make use of their bug net and pick up a little bit of safety here. It looks like they've reserved themselves to sitting on 3 hearts for quite a while. And again, the hearts may find themselves in rather inconvenient places, as Dante's going to go ahead and clear through Thieves Town and pick up the 5-6 crystal, as well as a couple of keys and that bottled fairy that were inside to keep us a little bit safer.
Yeah, I expect to probably see the green potion pickup as well.
Every little bit of safety, I would say, I think. Especially if you're going to go rather slow-like. It looks like now we're seeing 50-50 bomb plays by Walther.
Yeah, it was down to no bombs, so...
Interesting choice, but I can see where it makes me harken back to when they were clearing through the escape sequence and making use of their bombs when they had the hammer already in their hand. As now a little bit of time loss is being introduced after what were relatively clean bomb strats, just perhaps forgetting the nature of the spoiler race that we're doing here, where you're not checking chests and getting lots of free bombs and free arrows along the way. And
there's some in Hype Cave.
And Walter still hadn't gone and picked up that bow there on the old armors. If you see that he also walked past the Uncle Bombs there that were in the top room of Thieves Town there. It's an interesting little bit of just resource management. Perhaps the Titansmiths having a bit more experience on the side of running spoilers, as we're now looking towards a check of Mini Moldorm Cave at the 31-minute mark. Perhaps there's some safety hidden within. Dante, go ahead and just making quick work of Thieves Town at the moment. That last Mini Moldorm just kind of escapes Walter's grasp, as there's the green potion pickup we foresaw. I don't think the compass was something we were really after, but there's the escape small key, $50, another 50, and the blue mail. With that, Walter has effectively doubled his heart count. Good for a little bit of extra safety. So we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of a swim.
Guess he's thinking Ice Palace as well, so definitely we're happy. Oh, never mind. Oh, wait, no. Waterfall Fairy. That's why he was doing that.
Yeah, he wanted the $100 so he could get more bombs. Nice little bit of metagaming. I actually kind of like it, because it's all right there together. And then you can go ahead and head into Thieves Town. You've got an extra set of health to go through to try to get that Ice Palace bomb jump. Realistically, you've got 2 shots at it with the low resource count that we have at the moment. But with Renaissance Calibers, I'm sure they're not all that worried about it.
Yeah, probably not, but yeah, we're going into Ice Palace with a fighter's sword and 3 hearts. So is this inverted?
No, it is not. It would appear so, as we've attempted 3 heart hammer blind, and now we're on 3 heart fighter sword Ice Palace. Of course, we have the cane to make blind a little bit easier. We don't have to worry about this pen gator room by the looks of it. Just go ahead and cycle the door. Meanwhile, Dante's making the way down to the south. Lots to be excited for with the upcoming league season. I mean, there's a lot of exciting things going on in the Link to the Past randomizer in general. I mean, the tournament just starting up. We're going to go ahead and teasing this little bit to go on after the main tournament, but lots of fun stuff going on in the community. I think it's going to be a good time for all those who want to get involved. And remembering not to grab those tiles that used to give information that people hated.
Oh, good old hints.
I mean, it looks like Dante's also going to opt into the blue mail, and we'll see if they also decide to take the money.
Walter with a nice setup with no sword.
There's a lot of exciting things coming up into the Link to the Past Randomizer League. First and foremost, we'll let you know as we clear our way through Ice Palace that the dates have been announced. We're looking at a registration starting up in February of 2020, February 2nd, 2020, for all teams that committed in last season, and then February 9th opening up for the others, because we have a lot and we're going to be expanding the league quite a bit. We're going from how many teams was it last year?
We had 16 teams last year. We are hoping to double that. We are hoping to have 32 full teams of 3 this year. So if you missed last year because registration got filled up, don't be sad. You got a chance this year. And as far as registration, like he stated, we'll start February 2nd for teams returning from season 1. To be considered a returning team, you have to have at least 2 of the 3 original members of the team, or team from season 1. So, somebody doesn't want to go, and you find a replacement, you can join, but it has to be at least 2 of those members
to be considered a returning team. But give it a week later and grab 2 of your buddies and sign up for the Link to Past Randomizer League. If you find yourself a fan of this and want to get involved in the many fun modes that we're going to be playing this year, this mode being one of the more interesting ones, we're calling it, this is a spoiler open, defeat Ganon 7-7, 100% peace sanity, but it is a semi-spoiler log as we're going through, as each one of these players, Walther having Kern as a backup, and Dante having Etium reading the spoiler to them. They're working together to get through the seed as fast as possible.
Yep, and the main thing is, like, if you've seen the spoiler races before, how a single person runs it, but they have the spoiler log about 15 minutes so they can just kind of plan their route. The spoiler log was not given until basically, it was about probably 30 seconds before go. And it was given to their kind of pilot, as we've kind of been calling it.
Just enough time to make sure that it's where they have access to it. It's not going to crash on them. Everything's good to go.
Yes. Question in chat. Are we sticking with 3-man teams? Yes. We did make the decision to stick with 3-man teams for this season. May not be like that forever. We don't know. We'll see how this season goes out, and we'll go from there. But this season 2 will be 3.
If I make a call here, shout outs to Walther attempting a 3-heart hammer and full and green potion fire rod cold stare with blue mail.
Yeah, no fighter sword, actually. Walther has not been to Eastern Palace, so this is hammer at this point.
It is hammer only, and by God did he knock those buffs down like they weren't even a challenge. Just to be rewarded with a single arrow and the crystal that we needed.
Yep, everybody get your claps, get your nice fights in.
That is some big rando energy. We'll call it that.
Oh, also to note, more than likely, Walther and Dante, they may have this up. Maybe. They may not. They might just be focusing purely on execution right now. This is one rule of it. You can watch the restream. Whether it be the pilot, the runner, both, they are able to. And when we get to this week in the actual season itself, there will not be a stream delay required for this week. The rest of the weeks are going to have a stream delay, but this week will not be. There will be no stream delay.
And such is the nature of spoiler racing in general, where a lot of times, just like since everyone is given the information could also be what your opponents do. Depends. I know I haven't heard of a lot of paper runners really using that all that much, but perhaps something like this, where you listen to your restream and you go, "Oh, I didn't read that correctly," and then we pick up the magic powder being the only real item pickup I saw come through here in Ice Palace.
There was another bottle filled with green goo as well.
I mean, the safeties is one thing, but they're coming through here on absolutely gut-wrenchingly low attire. Coming in blue mail, fighter swords available, and you get yourself some green goo. It didn't phase Walther, as they just made the cold stare puffs look like they weren't even anything. And here we are into Swamp Palace. I imagine that Swamp Palace small key, as it just showed up on the right side of our screen, was also one of the prizes hidden within here.
Yes, it was.
There's going to be lots of other fun things coming out through the league. We'll see a week of mystery seeds, which I think will be a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun things. The crystals could be somewhere between 5 and 7. The dungeon items can include full key sanity and up to any part of that. It could be a swordless seed that you don't know you're getting yourself into.
Yep.
Swordless retro? Hello?
Yeah, it was something that nobody knew I was doing this, but I was secretly just kind of not eavesdropping, but I was hearing conversations about the mystery seed that was introduced, Synax mystery bot. Before Speed Gaming Live, and I'd heard from, and it wasn't just like the top tier runners or anything like that, but just most runners, that they really enjoyed actually the mystery seeds, trying to figure out what they actually had to do and things like that. And I brought it up to Fear when I got back from Speed Gaming Live. It was like, it seemed like a lot of people enjoy the mystery seed, and then that was that. It's like, yeah, it's going in.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm disappointed to not see some cross keys up in this season, but
What are you talking about?
Did I just not read this correctly? Oh, I see it now. There is a week of cross keys. I just don't know how to read how things are written anymore because of all the changes, and I just kind of blocked for it, I don't play it.
Yeah, cross keys will be making a return.
And co-op races. I love co-op. It was probably one of the most funs I've had was doing co-op racing around SGDQ. We're gonna get to see a week of that. What is interesting there is it opens up the chances of seeing all three of your racers in one league. Something you aren't guaranteed to see most of them. And meanwhile, yes, Dante goes ahead and takes care of Cold Stare. That had the advantage of a fighter sword, if you can even call that fighter sword an advantage of Cold Stare. Here we are into left side swamp on Walther's side. Interesting to see the kind of a semi-lead change, at least on what you're seeing on your screen, happen in there through Ice Palace, just the gutting it out by Walther there. Though they still have to go back up to the Tower of Hera and pick up that bow. And speaking of the Tower of Hera, that's the big key.
That might have been why they didn't go up to Hera's, because Walther may not know Hera Pop.
That's an interesting little bit of trick. And because of that, yes, Walther also doesn't have the Eastern Palace completion, because they have not gotten the bow off Cold Stare.
Oh, I guess I will make this big announcement as well regarding the league, because I remember especially when we got to the end of the regular season on season 1, there was a little bit of, I wouldn't say drama, but just the fact that we only had 6 weeks, which means there was one team in your division that you did not play. This season, that is not happening. There will be 7 weeks of a regular season. You will race every single team from your division at once.
That'll be a lot of fun to see, so that also should hopefully make the tiebreaker scenarios a little bit easier to not break your brain. It's a little tough.
And as far as divisions, this isn't actually something we've talked about as of right now, but I'm fairly certain when it comes to divisions, if you are a returning team, I am fairly certain we're going to be randomizing the divisions or having some kind of semblance to it. So it's not just going to be the original 2 divisions with returning team members. If you know any teams that aren't returning, you'll just get your team, get those teams replaced. There's going to be a little bit of changes to divisions as well.
It looks like while we were going through the details of the tournament, the Ganon's Tower Big Key showed up.
Ganon's Tower Big Key.
Definitely kind of need that. If we're going to go ahead and clear out this seed. That's kind of disappointing. It kind of leads to the thought of we're probably not going to see any of the basement of the of Ganon's Tower, unless, of course, they want some, like, quick safety. So, suddenly, speaking of safety, Dante's heart count has ballooned out to 6, while Walther's finally picked up their 4th.
Yeah, looking at Ganon's Tower, I don't think we're seeing the basement today.
And then down goes Good old Argus on the left side for Walther is basically our Bombos medallion picked up, and Crystal number 2 for old Swagger Jackson.
So that's Turtle Rock. Yeah, Turtle Rock is open, and I'm pretty sure we have the keys as well to just complete it at this point.
I think I've seen at least 2 small keys. And we're still looking. We are still gonna have to pick up one more sword along the way here. And if you're Walther, you still haven't picked up any of them. As you have to feel bad for that one R guy who just couldn't catch up to the rest of the pack there. It's not enough when you see the blue one floating around that much, and it was on back there in Swamp Palace was the GT Big Key. With that, Walther is off to somewhere else, and it looks like we're heading back up to the mountain. Imagine they're gonna go ahead and pick up their bow now. The real question is, where does Dante head to next? As we've now been given our way through Turtle Rock. Palace of Darkness still lacking. Actually, we found the pod big key. Something stopping us from going there, except for the lamp by logic, though. I'd imagine these runners aren't gonna be looking for the lamp, even though they know where it's at.
I'm trying to think with the keys and everything, minus sword and technically lamp. I think Dante may actually be in a state of go mode at this point.
Still has to pick up a sword along their way, and I don't know if I think they've picked up all the keys. Unfortunately, we just don't have the key sanity tracker quite up and running.
Yeah, I know we have a pod. I know we have pod big key. We have the GT big key. I'm fairly certain we have a Turtle Rock big key already.
Yeah, there's a Turtle Rock small which picked up on the left side by Walther there, but Dante is going to head and make their way up to the mountain. It looks like they're heading over to the right side.
This is not all dungeons. It's just key sanity. It's a 7/7 defeat Ganon.
Alright, and they're making their way up to the top of the mountain. It looks like we've got some Turtle Rock action on the right side of our screen. Meanwhile, Walther is making their way into Eastern Palace, and the Tower of Hera, going to pick up their progressive bow along the way.
Speaking of all dungeons, though, since it got brought up in chat, this is one of the modes that is going to be returning from Season 1. It is going to be the co-op info share, all dungeons.
Yeah, I think those are a lot of fun. The all dungeons co-ops is just trying to branch out, figure out where everything's at, and then come back together and complete as close as possible. Yeah, definitely one of the more fun ways of playing this game together before multi-world became a thing. Oh, and it looks like Moldorm has other ideas for how this race is going to end. Speaking of multi-world, it will not be, despite the fact that it'll likely be official before it comes out, will not be included in this season of the league. So I hope to see it in future seasons.
Well, it's like Moldorm's making his best right now, but trying to give Walther down one more time, but not this time. Walther gets his bow.
And there's another heart container for Dante. Just go ahead and try to play this seed on easy mode compared to Walther. Now at double the heart count as the Red Stalfos decides that no, you're not coming onto my platform. Go away. Alright, looks like Walther is going ahead and they're going to head over towards... I think they're going to pod Eastern combo now. Do you remember where that ice rod was?
I do not remember where the ice rod is. I can go find it, and that was the chest I was wondering if they were going to stop by. Chain Shop Room takes a little bit of time, but you're rewarded with silver arrows if you do it. Okay, Uncle Chest.
making our way through Turtle Rock. I definitely don't disagree with making a point for silvers, especially when you're looking at being fairly low percentage. I'd imagine we're probably going to settle for Master Sword at this point.
Maybe.
Let's go ahead and visit Sahasrara just to pick up a single pod small key. And Tanty going ahead and picking up that fairy and being chased off by the bubble beam there. The bunny beam. Is this in Pokemon? What am I talking about? Meanwhile, Walther's still doing it big monkey style and just still being swordless at this point.
And Walther actually has to be careful. He only has 100 rupees after paying Kiki the 10. So it makes it through, because if he would have got hit, he would have had to go get some rupees to pay Kiki.
You can't always get to pay that monkey.
So I won't spoil where all the swords are, Fear, but the swords are in terrible, terrible locations.
Our first one, he's just about to get his first sword here in Eastern Palace, in the Eastern Palace big chest. And the big key was elsewhere.
Where do you think the next sword's going to be?
A pod big chest? Just to go full meme?
How about Mimic Cave?
Mimic Cave is pretty rough, but I mean, when you consider how early the hammer was, I don't think it's that bad. If we're in a spoiler race, that is.
Oh yeah, but you look where Bombos was on Argus, which was you had to go into Ice Palace to get the small key for as well.
So yeah, lots of unfun places, but as far as if you just abstract the location itself, not too bad.
So
pile on all the other crap. Yeah.
I will spoil one of the sword locations because we are not going to see this ever on anybody's screen. One of the swords is on Lumberjack Ledge.
Okay, yeah, well, nobody is going to get that. Guaranteed. Dante may be making quick work of what is a relatively relatively easy dark room here in Turtle Rock. The hardest part was just making sure you find your way to the darn button.
GFE's hoping we have a sword in upper GT.
Alright, so Chad, if you're out there, where do you think that third sword is hiding?
I won't spoil it because I know where it's at.
You're not, Chad. You're my co-host. Anyway, we'll go ahead and see. We've got ourselves another pod small here on Laser Bridge. I missed what that first item was.
I think that was also another pod small key.
So many pod smalls.
Which, assuming you don't need anything from pod, which I'm pretty sure looking at Dante's, he's got Master Sword. We already have the big key to pod. I think you only need 2 keys to actually no, you would need 3 keys. Or 2 keys plus bow.
Now we already have the bow.
Yeah, so... yeah, I think Dante is definitely in kind of a go mode.
Perhaps he's just able to do all the things mode. Similar to when you're playing multis. Looks like Walter's going to go ahead and head into the Palace of Darkness now. Fire head down. The ice head does get that ice breath off to make this arena a little more challenging. Just barely dodging out of the fire rod shot as the ice head.
Argus is already dead though, GFE. That's where we found Bombo. So technically it led to our second sword inside of Turtle Rock.
Really nice Master Sword fight being set up there. Now opting for the hammer is Dante. Getting a hammer up, that's not always the easiest thing. And down goes Trinex for Dante. And with that, they're at crystal number 6.
Yeah, and Walter's not going to be that far behind on crystal number 6 in pod. This very well could be a very interesting race.
And it does set up Walter to being up out on the mountain already, where Dante will have to re-travel up to the mountain. Though perhaps valuing the Master Sword, having the Master Sword over just the routing potential. And also giving them silvers for the quick kill on the Helmasaur King as well. And we're heading, speaking of Helmasaur King, that's where Walter's on their way to now.
Yes, Trinex silvers were in Chain Shop Room.
And speaking of things going on in League, so we will get some fairly basic weeks as well. We will see an open 7-7 week and open a standard assured 7-7, the old dot casual.
Actually, the standard is not just a regular standard mode. If you actually have to kind of know what that means. The people that run this are going to understand this right away and know what it is. The standard mode is actually going to be what's considered to be Ambrosia.
Right, and can you explain Ambrosia to the folks at home who don't race?
So Ambrosia is the uncle is going to give you a boots hint. He will tell you where the boots are, and then all of the bosses are guaranteed to have an item.
So no more bosses have maps?
Yep.
Interesting. How do you think those fare compared to a dot casual?
I think they're a lot of fun because especially when you know where boots are, you start to kind of route what do you want to do
before you have the boots.
Yep.
And looking through, the only seed type that we have not yet mentioned with is looking at also seeing a 7-7 fast Ganon. So who needs Ganon's tower?
The 7-7 fast Ganon, that is cross keys.
Oh, that's the cross keys.
Yep, the one, and I'm not sure, I'm fairly certain, I won't completely confirm this, I'm like 99% sure these will be the modes. We have not listed them in any specific order, so don't be like, okay, this is week 1, this is week 2. You're not going to know the weeks yet. But the 7th one that we haven't said yet, so this is the last one, it's going to be an open 7-7, but it's Enemizer.
Good old Enemizer.
Enemies will be shuffled and we'll have full boss shuffle.
Full or chaos?
Forms just has full. I don't know if we're gonna do chaos. That's probably something we could discuss, maybe changing to a chaos if that's something we'd rather do. But right now it's set to just full boss shuffle.
I just find the chaos to be more interesting because you can have all the Trinexes or you can have none of them. And here we finally have the Ice Rod pickup from Walther and Uncle Chet. I do agree, though, there is a bit of an interesting thought to full, where you just have to figure out, okay, well, what are the chances that this is where the Trinex wall is?
Yeah, when you find the Trinex wall, you're like, okay, I don't need to worry about Ice Rod for any other dungeon at that point.
I'd say that the full Sheppel brings the mental game, and the chaos just kind of brings the hype.
Yeah. So, like I said, all of those are pretty much subject to change, but more than likely that's what we will end up going with, and we'll see, if there are any changes, everything like that, when the official documentation is posted and all that stuff, you will see that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun with this upcoming season, though. We got a little bit of time to wait. We're about 3 months away at this moment?
About 4 months away. We got to go all the way through November. We're actually almost 4 months to the day, because I want to say today is the 3rd of November, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not. March 2nd, so...
November.
Yep, so just under 4 months.
But 3 months away from the registration starting to open up.
Yes, that we are.
Where the hype can start to build is a slow roar as we explode onto your Twitch streams and have lots of fun along the way.
Yep,
and hopefully don't die too much time to find the Ice Rod.
Yeah, so the main thing is we don't want to take away from the fall tournament. that just started with the qualifiers earlier today. We don't want to take away from that, so that's why it's going to be a little bit. We're waiting until that's been finished. Has a little, there's been a little bit of time to cool down from that, and then that's when we're going to start up at that point.
Get the serious stuff out of the way, and then just have fun. I just saw a big key up on that ledge, but I don't think we're getting it.
GFE, yeah, I don't know if maybe we did it earlier. Walther, the 4th, is being led by Kern, and Dante is being led by Edium.
Well, Dante heading on over to Gaddon's Tower now. We already had the big key, so we're just heading straight for the gauntlet. Now they're being gived on the...
I was like, Walther's going to have to be extremely careful these chain chomps. He's only had 4 hearts to begin with. Oh.
And those chain chomps are rude, but we've picked up fairies along the way. Back up and running, there's the silver arrows. We're going to head back over. We're going to head on up to the back.
So with Dante climbing the tower at an hour in, Walther's, going through Turtle Rock, he'll finish shortly. I want to get everybody's predictions in chat, because typically we have a big key guessing game. So what we're going to do this game is, do you think that... Uh-oh, yeah, I just saw that. No GT small keys. Oh, no.
I wonder if Dante realized that yet. It looks like they're... Are we seeing a mimic clip here?
We sure are seeing a mimic clip.
Oh, goodbye, mimics.
Yep, I think Dante just realized that, oh god, I'm missing a key.
I need a key to go further. Shout outs to chat for catching that we did not.
Oh, nice full magic there.
That's a really nice full magic drop on the side of Walther. Alright, Dante now picking up their GT small key. Can go ahead and climb, and let's see if we get clip number 2. Perhaps they are listening to the race and hear that they're a couple rooms ahead and deciding to go for a little bit of fun there.
Potentially, but what I was gonna pose to chat, since this is Key Sanity, you don't get your Ganon's Tower big key guessing game in like you normally do. We're gonna do a little bit of a different game, and this is just gonna be a 50-50 chance. Do you think either one of these runners are gonna have Tempered Sword by the end of the race?
Oh, there's what? 4 locations left?
Well, yeah, there's 4 locations left.
I think chat picking up some, being able to metagame some information here.
Well, it's a 50-50 chance if you're guessing. You're either yes or no.
Well, Walther is heading into the fight there with the...
I said most of the swords were in bad places. I didn't say all of them were in bad places.
Where's Walther going?
I don't know where Walther's going.
I think he's out of arrows.
No, he's at 8. Maybe, and he doesn't have. I guess he's going back to Ice Palace.
Oh, that's the end of the portal.
Oh, he doesn't. He needs a Turtle Rock small.
Oh no! I ran out of Turtle Rock keys. This unfortunate small routing glitch may have just about sealed this race. As Daisy's making their way up to the tower climb, nothing too crazy heading along their way. Relatively low arrow count, and there's another drop or 2 along the way. Only need 4 to take care of Ganon. There hasn't been a full-on great post of announcements, so we'll. The one thing I can give you relatively quickly is just the dates of the upcoming registration. Looking at the seeds. looking in towards this next season. As 1, 2, 3 skewers into the land mollusk, and we're heading up further up the climb. As Walther is making the way back to pick up the Turtle Rock small key that they neglected, and having to be careful to do so as they're down to a half heart. There is a heart to pick up in this room.
They got the spoiler log that the website gave.
I think he's calling you out.
Sinek didn't have time to make a bot specifically for this.
I mean, they could have just. I suppose his bot wasn't designed to set up. It wasn't designed for key sanity.
It's not so much it wasn't designed for key sanity, it was the fact that the spoiler log would also get sent to the racer, and that we wanted to. The whole point was to where the racer did not have the spoiler log whatsoever.
Okay.
There was something when I originally thought about this, which I'll give shoutouts to two people, or not two people, but two things, because this was kind of where the original idea came from. The first one was the spoiler log tournament. Let's see if Santi picks this chest up.
Sure is going through a lot to not get it.
Oh wow, I'm actually surprised.
Perhaps they aren't listening to their no. We're just gonna hover Moldorm too. So there's no sword there.
So I'll tell you where the sword is.
Where is it?
Because he totally skipped it. It was in the pre-Moldorm chest.
Of course it was.
There was a sword at the top of GT.
And of course it was.
Or Dante made an oops, as Edium said, and forgot to pick up the sword.
I mean, I'll take forgetting to pick up your temperate sword over forgetting a Turtle Rock small key. At this point.
Yeah, Walther's gonna pick that sword up at this point. He needs to.
It's unfortunate it comes down to just a small execution glitch like that, but such is rando at times. But I am happy for all 4 of our runners or for all 4 of the people involved coming out and having this exhibition race for us as we get excited for a lot of fun things coming up in the Link to the Past randomizer community. The main tournament coming up, starting up now, this heading up afterward. Just a lot of hype and excitement to come through. I mean, just 99 entrants to the first qualifier today. That's insane.
Yeah, well, what I was saying about the mode, and it's something as soon as I thought of the idea, the first person I actually went and talked to was Cyanak to see, like, hey, I've got this idea potentially for Link to the Past Randomizer League. Would this be something you could do with the bot? And he's like, yeah, I can do that with the bot. So hopefully we have a bot specifically to where it will generate the seed, send it to the players, and generate the spoiler log and send it to the pilots or whatever we decide to specifically go with when it comes to that.
Yeah. That's an interesting place for Ganon to stop. I've never seen that before. So I also play a lot less than the rest of you do. Alright, and we're making our way through the end of this Trinex fight from Walter. Alright, and down goes Moldorm as we are into Phase 3 of the Ganon fight by Dante.
So, Eddie, I'm going to ask, since you're in chat where we're watching Dante finish off Phase 3, where's Dante planning on picking up Temperate Sword?
Well, we could pull them in for an interview after Ganon goes down.
Well, it could also be that the pilot just wants to have fun with Dante. He's like, you don't need Master Sword. I'm not going to tell you where it is.
What did Ganon just say?
I don't know.
It's like, oh no, the silver.
Oh yeah, silver is my true weakness. It's a change that they made with the 31. If you have both.
Right on. Well, the power is said to be in the arrow. Alright, and with that, the final silver skewer is zinging in, and get your GG in chat, folks. Just a 1x3 bridges on separates the Titans Mitts and victory in this League of the Past Randomizer League Season 2 Announcement Exhibition Race. I didn't even bother to pull up SRL, so I'm calling it a 109.15 as the official time.
Yep, 109.16 is SRL.
Alright. With that, GG's to these streams, and thank you all for hanging out with us as we get excited for all the cool things happening in Link to the Past Randomizer. Perhaps we'll pull Dante and Etium in here for an interview if they so see fit.
Yeah, let's see.
Alright, and we have been joined by two representatives of the Titans Mitts, Dante and Etium. Dante, GG to you.
Yo, thanks. GG to Etium here too, because he was the one who said, get that third sword, and totally just walked right by it.
I was wondering, because typically we have the Ganon Tower Big Key guessing game, and since it's Key Sanity, we didn't get that, so I played a game with chats, because I already knew where Tempered Sword was.
Yeah.
So, do you think, I was like, 50-50 chance, do you think either of these runners are going to have Tempered Sword? Most people said no, and a couple said yes. I'm like, okay, well, he's not going to skip that chest. It's fine.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I need to get it. And then I was so focused on, getting my health back up and getting magic. I was like, all right, we're good to go. Let's roll out. And then as soon as I jumped down, he goes, hey, don't forget that. And I just said too late. So it was great.
Oops.
I also want to shout out to chat, too, for reminding us we need a small key to go up GT.
And that was, I mean, small keys kind of caught us off guard here. It's unfortunate for old Swagga Jackson. They were short a TR small key to get to Trinax.
Yeah.
It's really so this format is just so weird because of having being able to see what your opponent's doing and honestly I think I looked at it a hot total of maybe 10 seconds because when you're low percenting so much of the game it's more of a distraction than it is a help is what I've learned.
Yeah, what we kind of said was this format is really hard for the co-pilot for the first 20 or 30 minutes because you're just trying to find everything really quickly. You have no preparation time, and then then it switches and becomes really difficult once you hit go mode for the runner because they have to do all this low percent stuff.
And you're just sitting there
yeah,
go
and
get him, buddy.
I'm I'll point out safeties that are along the way, but there's not really too much to do once we've hit go mode for me.
And shout outs to the log being the wrong format, I guess.
Yeah. It's just not in the Cynac format.
Yeah, it was alright. It just took me a couple minutes to kind of get used to it. But this was a lot of fun.
Keys are either P1 through 3 or D1 through 7, depending if it was Dark or Light World.
Yeah.
Instead of it being the actual dungeon, therefore. So you had to be which dungeon is Dungeon 2?
Well, it's like that in Synac's log as well. So you just got to get used to the numbers and letters. It's so easy to see D3 or something and think that's Hera, but it's actually whatever, Spillwoods.
Right. What threw us, that did throw us off because, Etium and I did do a few practice runs of this because, to be honest, we both kind of find it, fun to just pick up and play casually, with each other. And it was just a scenario of, we got really used to just generating the preset spoiler key sanity with the Cynac or Saha bot. And then it was oh no, what do I do? And I said, let's just run with it the best we can. It's an exhibition race. It doesn't matter. Let's just have a lot of fun while we do it. So,
yeah.
And I think that's what we did. We had a lot of good fun with it.
It definitely was a lot of good fun to watch and commentate about. I guess turning our focus as Walther's making the way through the end of Ganon's Tower. How excited are you guys coming in for a season 2 of this league?
I think it's going to be pretty hype.
I'm really looking forward to the potential expansion. Having more teams. There were a lot of, I guess, very minor kinks. Hey, there's that sword I forgot. But but you know, in the season one I thought was fantastic. And you know, when you have something that starts out as well as it did, and then you put so much effort like behind the scenes, I know Fear Agent and other moderators are doing that. You know, to improve upon it, it really has a lot of potential to be something very exciting going forward into season 2. So I have a lot of high expectations and a lot of excitement kind of building up for it.
That's definitely, it's fun to see on the player side, and I think in the commentator side it feels a bit more relaxed. There's a lot less, there's a bit more less stress to it. You get to see a more variety of modes. You get to see a variety of players. I mean, being able to just like a team is 3 players. You know, there's, you know, this week you could see this guy, and then the next week you're seeing the other guy, and it's just into the different scenarios, who does better in what scenario. Kind of little really lets you play things, you know, thinking in things of thinking in racing ways you're not used to, or also being involved in a race you're not actually physically in. Like, okay, I really need my guy to do well so we can make it to the next round. So you're sitting there cheering him on in chat, kind of a more of a team experience, which you don't see much of in A Link to the Past randomizer. As we get the end of the Wizard for Walther, is going to head on into the King of All Bacon for them. And we're going to go ahead and drop into the Ganon fight in just a moment. Sir Link, any other questions for these two?
No, it was fun to watch. I know, Dante, we ran kind of the very first, I think, official test of this, and we had like the go mode.
We had the
God. You finished it what, just over an hour?
No, it was 53 minutes. And
oh yeah, that's right. It was 53.
Because Fear was watching it, and he was like, "There's no way most of the races are going to be this fast." And I was like, "This was really, really easy."
It was. It was incredibly stupid. Like, we didn't have to dive any pendants. All the keys were just like right in the way. It's like, okay, thanks.
Yeah. We one of our practice seeds, we had a forced GT double dip. That was fun.
Was GT double dip? Or I guess for keys,
yeah.
That's
it was because the GT big key was on Lumberjack, and one of the Aga Tower keys was in GT.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, it was quite nasty. I think that one, I mean, all things considered, there were some other, you know, curves in that one, but this, what you're seeing here, this, like, I mean, we got the 109. Anything, I think, sub 120 from, like, higher tier runners is going to be kind of a baseline, because I think even in that weird one, we did, like, 115. So maybe those are times we're going to be expecting. I don't want to, like, speak too much to that, but obviously, because we don't know what seeds are going to be able to do going forward as far as, like, you know, what item crazy logic we may get, but that could be, you know, kind of the baseline, if you will, since, like, 2 hours, I guess, is a safe baseline of a regular rando seed.
And definitely shout out to mentioning just going through and doing some practice seeds and test runs of this. Just shows the amount of care and just passion that the administration team with the Make the Pass Randomizer League shows to really just make this an awesome experience for everyone, for the ones, those teams out there running, the commentators and trackers. Shout outs to Oro for tracking for us today. Just all in all, it's just kind of a more fun way to experience racing in Link to the Past, especially for the fans at home. There's just a new dynamic for those that just watch.
Yeah, I mean, I love co-op. I play a lot of co-op, and it's one of the funnest ways to play Link to the Past.
As the final skewer gets into the pig, just a 1x3 bridge all separates Team Old Swagger Jackson between the end and victory, and that is the end. And Sterling, going to give us an official time there?
Yeah, official SRL time. Walther joked that he's dead at this point, but official SRL times 1 hour 18 minutes 18 seconds.
All right, and hopefully the two of them will join us here in the Link to the Past Randomizer League.
Yeah, I think they are in a private call. I don't see them in any of the co-op channels. I know Kern is probably listening. Kern, do you and Walther want to join for a interview? Okay, hop in. Okay, yeah. Oh, wait, that's right. Walther's already.
I think Walther's found.
Well, Walther can. Kern will have to jump in somewhere else, and we'll drag him in.
All right, and GG to you, Walther.
GG's.
Yo, GG.
GG.
Actually, I wonder if he can.
So I guess looking through here, what did you think of that seed overall?
It wasn't too bad. We kind of wish we had practiced the Herapod, and also we were like super disoriented at the beginning because we had practiced with a different spoiler log this week. And then the spoiler log that we got was like way different from what we practiced with.
Yeah.
So it took a while for us to like realize how to navigate that one. Which is why like early game we just like went back and forward to like different places.
There we go.
And there we found ourselves a Kern.
Yo.
GTC you as well.
Thanks.
So what did you think of that seed overall, Kern? Just helping him through that one.
Oh, the seed was fine. The seed was fine. But we both brain farted a third TR small key, which...
Yeah. We totally thought we had 3 of them.
I was going to ask about that that small little moment there.
Well, I joke that it's all the log's fault, but actually I do want to blame the log. Because like we've practiced this mode a few times, and we always do it with Synax log format. So actually we had like developed an early game meta that required Synax log format.
Oh.
And so like from the first minute I was like thrown off, and you get a lot of like false positives because like if you're trying to look for a small key, for example, then in the normal vanilla log format it lists the small keys twice if they're required, since they listed in the playthrough. So it's kind of hard, like you're searching, you just have to adjust. And I mean we both had that problem because we both got the vanilla log, but I blame it all on that because it was like a frantic first 30 minutes, and then I think that's how we, like, you know, we're like, okay, great, we've solved this problem, on to the next one, because we felt so far behind in our log searching. So I'm gonna blame it all on the log.
Yeah, we had to keep checking. We checked like 2 or 3 times. We were like, how many TR keys do we have? How many TR keys do we have? So I was lucky we kept on top of that.
So where did you get yours from, Ice, or did you go to Meyer?
No, we never touched Meyer.
Nobody
okay.
touched Meyer.
Because I saw you go in the Spec Rock Cave.
Yeah, there was one in there. The big key
Nobody-
was in there.
Yeah.
Where did we get our third one? Did we get it on accident?
There was one in Desert, one in Hera, and one in Ice.
Okay, yeah, we got all 3 of those then.
Yeah.
Because in Ice, we kind of we almost full cleared Ice. It just felt really, I don't know, slow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was an Ice Palace small key somewhere really easy that we skipped that would have saved us a bunch of time. But I didn't realize that it would be so useful. So
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard, really, when you have no prep time. It's really hard to.
Yeah. There was like a safety somewhere on the right side of Ice Palace, and we were like, yeah, we're not getting that, and then we forgot about the key, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, there's there was a seed that Walter and I did the same game mode just the other day where it would have saved us a lot of time if we had gotten an Ice Palace small key. So we joked that the first thing that we should look for in this log is an Ice Palace small key. But yeah, it's funny because like stuff like that, it's so easy to ignore and just be like, oh, well, this is key sanity. You never need Ice Palace small keys, so your eyes just gloss right over them in the log, you know?
Yeah, because normally you would use full clear Ice Palace, so it doesn't really matter if you have one or not.
Yeah.
All right, but with that, I mean, I guess I'll turn the question that I gave to the first two to you guys, Walter and Kern. How excited are you coming into the next season?
I'm hyped. The first one was like really fun. So I'm definitely psyched for some more. Team-based Link to the Past, you don't see that much, but it's actually really fun.
Yeah, me too. I was I love that there's like this spoiler log key sanity doubling. I would love to do more stuff with teammates. You know, I know there's going to be no multi on this this tournament, but I think like stuff like that I think is really cool because we train together sometimes in the league, but other than supporting each other in races by like watching and stuff, it's kind of fun, the idea that we get to actually do stuff together.
Absolutely. And as we get ready to close out this broadcast, Sir Link, you want to run us down with any more of the fun announcements about this upcoming league season outside of those dates that we've already listed a few times?
Yeah, I mean, kind of went over them. We'll kind of just go over them quickly again. Again, these are in like no specific order as far as like the weeks that they're going to happen. But as far as modes, we've got the co-op info share all dungeons. We're going to have this one that you saw right here, co-op Key Sanity, spoiler log, all sorts of fun stuff with that. We're going to have the cross keys. Yeah, we're going to have a mystery seed week, so who knows what you're going to get there. We will have the open Enemizer, have the standard Ambrosia, and then we'll have just the plain 7/7 open defeat Ganon.
And definitely one of the big things, you look at those dates, we have a February 2nd, 2020 for those old teams. They need at least 2 of the original members to qualify as an old team. Also looking through February 9th, 2020, we are looking to last year we had a 16-team league. This year we're hoping to pull in 32. That's 96 total runners competing in between 32 teams, 2 divisions, 2 conferences. It'll be a lot of fun, and don't forget, you are going to be seeing all of your, you will see all the teams in your division. No more weeks. We'll have all 7 weeks that we need to make sure you're seeing everyone. I would like to give a personal shout out to the Fear Agent, the admin of the British Best Randomizer League, as well as the moderating team, Dante, Sir Linkalot, and Walter here with us, as well as Lynn, Marty, and Shireen. It's going to be a lot of fun going forward into this season. I'm glad you guys have brought me along for the ride, and I hope everyone else is just as excited as I am. Shout outs to Oro for the tracking today. Awesome job there. Shout outs to Marty for restreaming us today and getting all the stuff set up. I'm excited. I hope everyone else is. There's a lot of big things coming in the Link to the Past randomizer in this near future. I'm just excited to talk about it because I'm terrible. Any final comments before we send us off into that good night?
No, I mean, the other main thing, since there are 7 weeks, I believe last season it was, there were 2 races there. That's still going to be the same. Your team does need to run 2 races. You cannot race with the same person with the exception of the 2 co-op weeks that we have set up right now. So the spoiler log as well as the info share. Since there are more races though, you do have to do 5 instead of 4, and then the only race that will technically not count towards that 5, when it comes to the spoiler race, I believe what we've decided is the same person, I believe, can race. It might be different. I'd have to double check. But when it comes to the pilot, since you're not actually physically running the game, you can pilot both games that week, but you're only going to get credit for 1 game towards the 5 that you need to do, and that's just because you're not actually running. We want to do that to kind of even that out, since one person wouldn't actually be physically doing a run if that's what you decide. But if you have 2 different pilots, they both get credit.
With that, and I'll pose any questions about the upcoming format will be more detailed as we draw closer. I mean, we're still 4 months away from competition, 3 months from registration. Do not want to get in the way of the main tournament that just started up today with that first qualifier. So a lot of fun things coming up, and let's strap in and play some rando.
Yep. Any kind of, if you're not part of the Link to the Past Randomizer League Discord, as Fear said, definitely join it. I guess we're going to need to get a link in chat for it, because that is where any major announcements are going to be, especially as we get closer to registration and anything of that nature.
Go ahead and give us, join us in the Discord and come join us for the fun. With that, any final comments, Sir Link?
Nope, that is everything from me.
All right, as a final shout out, thank you to our runners, Dante, Etium, Kern, and Walther. Thank you to the moderators and the administration, the moderation team here. Thank you to our tracker, Oro. Thank you to my co-commentator, Sir Linkalot. With that, I am Bungie to the tree. Good night and good rando.